And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey there folks, today we're taking a look at Infiltration, which is from Fantasy Flight Games, which was interesting for a couple reasons. One, the game is designed by Donald Vaccarino, who published two award-winning games at this point, both Dominion and Kingdom Builder. Now Kingdom Builder I was on, and Dominion I was I really liked it, really good game, but the theme was but it was still a fantastic game. Nefarious then was the third game I played from Donald Vaccarino. I thought, wow, this is going to be a great game, and it was, maybe it's a decent game, but there's such a huge disconnect from the theme in it about being a mad scientist. This one was the second reason I thought this was interesting, is because it's set in the Android universe, which was based on the Android game right here, which is a really interesting game. I wouldn't say it's a great game, but it's certainly a good one and has some unique things and a great storytelling about a future, almost like a noir type future, cyberpunk, but at the same time not so dark as some of these things are. It's a very interesting storylines, and so this was set in the same universe. So I was like, well, Donald Vaccarino, not great with theme, but here we have the cool Android universe, so which one will win out? Let's see. In Android, each player is a different character, and you have a character piece, and you also have a character card that basically just exists to show your picture and a background story that says you are healthy, and then you can turn it over to show that you're wounded. When you're wounded, you basically move slower. And each player has this, and you're going to be moving into this facility here, and you're robbing it of data files. As the game progresses, you're going to be stealing these little data files that are going to be there, and you'll always be taking them when they're face down, but when you turn them over, you'll see that they have a value of 1, 2, or 3. There's a lot more 1s than there is 2s, and a lot more 2s than 3s. And what you'll be doing is each turn of the game, you're going to be choosing a card from your hand. Now at the beginning of the game, you're going to have download, retreat, interface, and advance, although you can replace download with extract, and I would highly recommend doing so. You'll also start with 2 item cards, and there's a whole deck of different item cards that can go into your hand, and these are special item cards that you have a one-time use. They're like a one-time action that you can do. On each round of the game, one player is first, although everyone plays an action card at the same time. All the action cards are revealed, and then we do what they say. If you play advance, that means you move forward 1 room. You'll be moving forward all the way up to the top of the building. If you play a retreat, you move back 1 room. And if you're here in the first room, when you play retreat, you're off the table, you're out of the game. Any data files that you have gotten are safe at that point in time. There's only 3 ways out to go out backwards out of the initial room, or there's 2 secret rooms that have secret exits. There's one in the first 4 cards, which are these 6, and there's one in the second 4 cards, although not every card is used in every game, so the secret exits may or may not be there. There's also a secret room here, which is better than all the other rooms with the amount of stuff that's inside, but there's only 2 rooms in the game that give access to it, that have a secret entrance to that room, and those cards may or may not be in the game. So, advance and retreat help you move back and forth. Interface, each room that you go in will have 2 icons put on it, usually. There's an interface icon, a blue one, and then this one also has a lock icon. A red icon is placed on it. And let's focus a little bit more on what this room says. A couple things about each room. You'll notice that this room has a 1 right here, which means when you first start in that room, there's 1 data file there. Okay, that's for everybody to try to grab. But also there's a tech lock here. That's what this red token means. This says when that tech lock's destroyed, operatives cannot collect data file DF tokens from this room for the rest of the round. So when this lock is destroyed, and there's many cards that will destroy locks, a couple things will happen. One, that special text comes into play, but notice there's a 5 over this. If you destroy that tech lock, then you're going to bring in 5 more tokens upside down on here. So destroying these tech locks or getting rid of the people who are in the room, if some rooms have a yellow token on them instead of a red one, and you have ways to get rid of those, will bring more data files into that room. If you use the interface card, you do whatever it says here. It says collect up to 2 available DF tokens from each revealed adjacent room. Now, the reason there's a blue token here, that blue token means I can use the interface. There are a few interface tiles where it will say remove the token to do this. Only the first person does it. So let's take a look at the next room just to show. This one says enter. That means as soon as you go into that room, if you play this using your advanced card, immediately move forward to the next room. So it's a moving sidewalk. So if you go in here, you go to the next room. And you can see that the different rooms have different numbers of data files that are going to be in them. There's a possibility of having more, and there's different kinds of interface tokens here. Some cards, when you bring them into the game, will bring in NPCs, non-player characters, and these non-player characters will show up and they'll move around and usually cause you general annoyance because they're there to stop you from doing things. Other cards will bring other things into play, like for example a few cards, especially in the upper rooms, since the upper rooms are better, will give you a prototype which is worth 10 points, but once you get a prototype you can't collect any more data files. Well, how do you get these data files anyway? Well, there's 2 ways to do so. If you're playing the normal game, you just play a download card. The first person who plays a download card each turn is going to get 2 of the data files from a room, and everyone else would get 1. But I much prefer to play with the optional extract rule, which depends on how many people play extract cards. If you're the only person, you get up to 4 tokens. If 2 people play them, you each get 2 tokens. And if 3 or more people play it, you get 1 token each. So that adds some things. Now remember, these cards come back into your hand after you play them, so you're moving around and collecting tiles. The special cards give you other abilities, like here, this is Express O2. You can move forward or backwards 1 room, then play your download or extract card. So this lets you move and extract. Secretaries, you can increase or decrease the alarm dial by 2. Then you can play an action or an item card. This one here, you can place buckyballs in your current room. Each time an operative enters this room, he's delayed, which slows him down in movement. A sledgehammer lets me destroy a tech lock or destroy the robot card. And so there's different cards that you have, and now sometimes you have to put these back in your hand, but most of the time they're one-use cards, and they're usually better than your action cards. You start with 2, and you can get more, but it's not very easy to get more. Now, after everyone has done their action, the person who started the turn is going to roll a die, a 6-sided die, and I just rolled a 5, so I would add 5 to the threat dial. Now, the threat dial is important because it starts at 0-0, but when the threat dial gets to 99, anyone who's still in the building is arrested and automatically loses. You say, okay, well you have a certain amount of turns, probably 33 turns to play the game. Well, not really, because other cards are going to cause this dial to turn. This is the alarm dial. And as the alarm dial goes up, let's say the alarm level is currently at 3, whenever I roll that die, I will add 3 to it. So I would have just made this go up by 8. If the alarm level was at 3. And the alarm level can get excruciatingly high. You can see it goes all the way up to 8. And when you're adding 8 to every die roll, the game's going to be over lickety-split. Now, you can, like I said, the second 4 rooms are better. They have more time. Look, you can see each of these has 2. But then once you get it, you realize you have to retreat all the way out. Your only hope is that maybe you can move forward and say, oh, the executive elevator. There's a way to get out of the building that way. But you don't know if that card is in the game. Just like you don't know if there's an entrance to the secret room, which often can have a whole pile. You can see this one has 8 of those tokens in. So it is possible for everybody to lose the game by everybody getting killed inside the building, but likely the person who gets out, who has the most data files, is the winner. The main thing here about Infiltration is that it's fun. And that's what's very important about the game. It's 2 to 6 players, but 2, 3, 4, 5, good, 6, great. I really like the game because there's so much going on. You're all taking actions kind of simultaneously, and you're all moving around. And I suppose you could run in and run back out in the beginning, but then someone would run in a little bit farther, run back out. There's that hope that you will find a secret exit, that hope that you will find a way, and that push to get one more treasure. In fact, one of my favorite games here is Ink and Gold. It's a game from Griffin Games games, which is about pushing your luck. And I've always enjoyed pushing your luck games. This feels to me like the gamer's version of Ink and Gold. Ink and Gold is a game anybody can play. Infiltration, not quite anybody can play it, but it's still very accessible. It looks complex. It looks like all these special cards and all these things, but they're really quite straightforward, and you do one card at a time. And as the game goes by, the tension ratchets higher and higher and higher, which is, of course, what they designed. I think it is a fun game. I'm very impressed with it. I think I'm probably going to lose every game of this. I mean, I'm running for the exit, but I'm burdened down. I've waited too long. I've got too many data files. I've grabbed the prototype. There's just too much going on. But the gameplay itself is full of laughter and talking, and when you use the different equipment, it feels like you do. When the NPCs show up and start moving around and causing problems, and you stab each other in the back at different points. I mean, you're really never cooperative. This is not like this is one of those cooperative games where everyone works together, but only one can win. No, we're pretending to work together, but we're really not. So I like the theme. The theme fits really well. The cards and the artwork and all really detail that, and it comes out. It's very evocative in the gameplay. But at the same time, gameplay is very light, simple, and fun. And I can see this one becoming a perennial favorite. So Infiltration, I'm definitely going to keep this one on my shelf. A fun game.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.